just culture under Reason's safety culture model. Just. So you see, just culture is a pivotal component of James Reason's safety culture model, focusing on fairness, accountability, and learning from errors and incidents. It is designed to balance the need for an open and honest reporting environment with the organization's obligation to hold individuals accountable for their actions. So, a just culture can be defined as the organizational framework that promotes fairness in addressing safety-related incidents. It distinguishes between acceptable and unacceptable behaviors, ensuring that employees are treated equitably whilst fostering a sense of accountability. So in the just culture, the focus is not on assigning blame, but on understanding the underlying causes of incidents and using that knowledge to prevent recurrence. So there are some characteristics as far as this culture is concerned, and one of them is fairness and accountability, which ensures that individuals are held accountable for deliberate violations or gross negligence, but are not punished for honest mistakes or system failures. Then, another characteristics that we can talk of under the just culture is that it also focuses on systemic causes, because the investigations in the just culture emphasize identifying and addressing systemic issues rather than blaming individuals. It also recognizes that most errors result from flawed processes, inadequate training, or organizational deficiencies. And then another characteristic that we can talk about under this culture is the encouragement of reporting, whereby employees feel safe to report errors, near misses, and unsafe conditions, knowing they will not face unjust punishment. Then this culture also clear or has a clear boundaries for behavior, in a sense that it clearly defines acceptable and unacceptable actions to guide employee behavior. Deliberate violations such as recklessness are treated differently from inadvertent mistakes. Then another characteristic that you can talk of is transparency and trust. You see, open communication about how incidents are handled builds trust between employees and management, and also ensures consistency in applying policies and addressing incidents at a workplace. For example, safety meetings like this. During safety meetings, and maybe you recognize some errors yesterday at your workplace, you can bring it on board. Then you discuss. That one becomes open communication. You don't mention anybody's name. You hit straight on the issue. Then learning and improvement is also one of the characteristics as far as just culture is concerned. You see, just culture uses incidents as opportunities to improve systems, training, and processes rather than focusing solely on punishment. Just culture, encourages open reporting. It encourages open reporting. You see, a non-punitive approach, that is, open reportage, increases the likelihood that employees will report errors and unsafe conditions. And this leads to better identification of risk and hazards and all that. It also improves morale and trust. So in a sense that employees will now feel valued and respected, knowing they won't be unfairly blamed for honest mistakes. Trust in management also strengthens workplace relationships and engagement and all that. Then it also enhances learning and adaptability. So by focusing on systemic causes, a just culture facilitates continuous learning and adaptation to prevent, future incidents. Then it also balances safety and accountability. While promoting openness, a just culture also holds individuals accountable for reckless or intentional actions that jeopardize safety. So this balance creates a disciplined yet supportive work environment and all that. So then it also supports other cultural components, whereby, a just culture complements the reporting, culture by ensuring fairness, and learning culture by prioritizing improvement over blame. Then what are some of the challenges in implementing a just culture in a mining industry? One of them is resistance to change. You see, employees and management accustomed to a blame-oriented culture may struggle to transition to a just culture. Then defining boundaries too is one of them. So it can be challenging to clearly differentiate between honest mistakes. I don't know, but there are honest mistakes. Honest mistakes at risk behaviors and reckless actions and all that. Then consistency in application. You see, inconsistent application of just culture principles can erode trust and undermine its effectiveness. Then management buy-in too is one of the challenges that can be seen under just culture, that we can see that employees may also, fear that the concept of just culture could be, misinterpreted or manipulated to protect certain, individuals or groups and all that. Then we will now move to flexible culture. Is also one of the essential components of James Reason's safety culture model, focusing on the adaptability and the ability to respond effectively to changing circumstances or unexpected challenges. It also highlights the importance of an organization's capacity to shift its structure and decision-making processes during critical situations to ensure safety and operational continuity. So yeah, so that is flexible culture for you, and there are certain characteristics as far as flexible culture is concerned. And one of them is adaptability to change, the ability to quickly adjust processes, protocols, or priorities based on new information, risk, or circumstances is a key factor here. And then dynamic leadership. Leadership roles may shift temporarily to those with the most relevant expertise or situational awareness during emergencies and all that. Then collaboration and communication is also one of the characteristics that can be discussed here. So effective channels or effective communication channels are also established to facilitate seamless information flow across all levels of the organization. So teamwork, collaboratively, breaking down silos to address safety critical issues also should be also taken note here. And then empowerment of frontline employees is also one of the characteristics that you can also discuss here as far as flexible culture is concerned. So this emphasizes the fact that employees closest to the situation, such as the operators or the field personnel, are empowered to make decisions and act swiftly when needed. Then integration with other cultures too is one of the characteristics here that we can also make mention of, and works in tandem with other component of reasons, culture models such as the informed culture, learning and other cultures too is very, very important here. Then preparedness for emergencies too is also a characteristic that can be discussed here. And in a sense that scenarios and drills, prepare employees to adapt their roles and actions during crisis, thereby ensuring a cohesive and effective response and all that. So why do you think flexible culture is also very, very important in mining operations? Just one. Someone should give me one of the reasons why you think flexible culture is also very, very important as far as mining operations is concerned. You see, a flexible culture ensures that the organization can respond swiftly and effectively during emergencies, thereby minimizing the impact on safety and operations and all that. It also improves safety in dynamic environment. Industries like mining, healthcare, aviation, and energy, often face rapidly changing conditions where adaptability is critical to maintaining safety and all that. It also empowers decision-making at all levels. And, shifting decision-making authority to those with the most situational awareness, prevent delays, and improve the quality of responses and all that. It also promotes resilience. A flexible culture enhances organizations' ability to recover quickly from setbacks or disruptions, thereby ensuring business continuity and safety. It also encourages innovations and all that. So using breaking rigid hierarchies, employees can propose and implement creative solutions to address emerging safety challenges and all that. Then there are challenges associated in building a flexible culture in the mining industry. The first one that we can talk about, or one of them, is resistance to change. Employees and managers, accustomed to rigid structures may struggle to adapt to dynamic roles or shifting authority during critical situations. Then lack of preparedness too is one of the challenges that we can discuss here. So without proper training or drills, employees may not know how to adjust their roles or responsibilities in emergencies. Then ineffective communication too is one of them, one of the challenges. So here, poor communication systems can hinder the rapid sharing of information, thereby undermining flexibility during crisis and all that. So these are some of the challenges that can pop up when we want to build, flexible culture in or incorporate flexible culture in our industry or in the mining industry.